What's up, guys? It's OutCast back again for another video, where today we'll be doing yet another lyrical breakdown. And for what it seemed like almost a month, he's back. DD214 memes is back after having his Instagram account suspended. And he is back with a fucking vengeance. Today, we'll be doing a song called Sea Service Salt Dog, which is from the point of view of a salty corporal. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the song.
Yo, you got the chew highs? Hey, let's get it. Sea service, motherfucker, sea service. You ain't giving me the respect that I'm deserving.
So to start off with, what is the sea service or the sea service ribbon that is shown in the beginning of the song? So that is a ribbon that you get when you go on a UDP, which is a unit deployment program, an actual deployment, or you get stationed in Okinawa, Japan, for an extended period of time. Normally it's 3 years from what I believe. And that second part of the song, or that first part, he's just saying, I went somewhere, where's my fucking respect?
I'm deserving no war, but I got the next best thing. A trip to the rock, got the sea service bling.
So, since we're technically in peacetime mode, most Marines that join today don't go to war. So he's saying he's got the next best thing, which is getting deployed to the rock, which is Oki. And that thing he was zooming in on, we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. That goes on later on in the song. But again, went to Oki, did his time, got his sea service ribbon, like it actually means something.
And people might say that peacetime's a curse, but I hit Australia on the 31st.
So in this part of the song, he references that he's a peacetime Marine, but that he went on a MU. What a MU is, a Marine Expeditionary Unit. To make a long story short, you're essentially on a boat. There's 3 of them in the East Coast, which is North Carolina, 3 in the West Coast in California, and then 1 Marine Expeditionary Unit in Japan, which is the 31st. And they pretty much roam around the Pacific, kind of policing that area, if you will. That's why he stopped in Australia with the 31st. I guess that's the name they got. Maybe they're shit. Who knows? I've never been on one.
Worst, banging strippers and drinking grog. Don't get it twisted, I'm a salt dog.
So, number 1, I love the fact that he chose buff male dudes when he referenced strippers. That to me is fucking hilarious. What a grog is essentially a really fucked up mix that's normally drank in mess nights. When I had my mess nights, when I went through corporal's course, they mix all sorts of shit in there. It was spicy as fuck. It was absolutely terrible. And we had one guy that kept going to the grog almost every time. And he ended up throwing up, I believe, when we were listening to the Marine Corps hymn, which was fucking hilarious. It was all red. It was just disgusting. It wasn't blood. It was just how that liquid looked. But it's just a really gross mixture. And you can put anything in it that's edible, I think. Man. He shows a picture of Nava the Beast as a salt dog, a 3-ribbon sergeant who got out. If you don't know his story, he was a 3-ribbon admin sergeant that was stationed in Okinawa, which he claimed that is a deployment, which it's not. Got out, became a realtor, I believe. I think now he actually commissioned in the reserves, or is trying to. Fuck, I hope that doesn't happen. And he's selling fitness packages or boot camp preparation packages for poolies or recruits, if you call them, for $600 a pop for just running, push-ups, and crunches. Kids, if you're watching this video, don't buy his shit. Just do push-ups, do crunches, and run. That's all you need to do.
UDP got that 3-ribbon stack. Kick me out the bar and I'm on attack.
Again, just because he went on a UDP, he got the 3 ribbons. The National Defense, which everybody gets out of boot camp. The Global War on Terrorism, which everybody gets after 3 months in the field. And then the Sea Service Deployment ribbon. And then I think this part of the song, he goes on to telling a story that he was probably in a bar in Oki or in Australia, got fucked up, and started kicking the shit out of people.
On attack. The cops chased me down, but it didn't faze me till they decided that they would just tase me.
Yep. So again, it got to the point where it escalated to the point where the cops got called. They couldn't take him down, so they tased him. I actually know a guy who got caught on the DUI, got absolutely fucked up, got pulled over, and he proceeded to fuck 6 cops up, sending one of them to the hospital. So it makes sense why the salty corporal got tased at the bar.
Spent my whole weekend doing PME. Okie deployments got me crazy.
And here, he touches on the most motivating part of the Marine Corps. PMEs, primary military education. Essentially, online classes that you have to take in order to be promoted. Whether it's for education points or core classes that you need in order to actually be eligible to be promoted. Such as leading Marines, if you, as a Lance Corporal, if you want to pick up Corporal, Corporal scores to pick up Sergeant, Sergeant scores to pick up Staff Sergeant, etc., etc., etc. Not to mention the MOS related classes. And again, this is a joke of the Okie deployment. He's probably going to the field or doing some sort of stupid UDP or some shit like that. But he wants to make it seem like he's actually doing something.
See, I picked up E4 and now I'm living lazy. The soapy lady said my gravy was tasty.
So in the story, much like probably in real life, he achieved the sometimes unachievable dream of becoming an NCO in the Marine Corps. A corporal / E4. So now he's kicking back. He doesn't have shit to worry about because he's an NCO. Now that second part is because he probably went to Mama-san at one of her Asian massage parlors, or probably just a standard whorehouse, and I'm not gonna explain the rest. It's kind of self-explanatory.
Tasty, telling Boots Okie stories on the daily. I probably got 2 or 3 Asian babies.
Much like the hated boot camp stories from the brand new Marine that just got to the unit, the stories from the Okie Marines share the same fate, unfortunately, because all they talk about is the shit that they did in Okinawa. How good the food at Coco's was, how good Tokyo was, how good the ramen was, how the US sucks compared to Japan. And honestly, no one gives a fuck. No one wants to hear it because no one cares about what you did or didn't do in Okinawa. No one cares. And now the second part is probably because of Mama-san and her daughters, and I use that term loosely because they're obviously whores. Now, he probably paid to smash a bunch of Asian chicks raw, didn't pull out, and left without knowing what the consequence of his actions were.
Babies, a typhoon rolls up and it starts raining. But if it ain't raining, then we ain't training.
Probably one of the stupidest statements I have ever heard of the Marines. If it ain't raining, you ain't training. What the fuck does that mean? So, what are we doing when it's clear out? Are we just masturbating? Are we fucking off? Are we sucking dick? No one fucking knows because no one can give a straight answer. And the reason why that statement came up is because in Japan is known for a lot of typhoons, and apparently it rains a lot. So that's where the term more than likely came from. It's stupid nonetheless.
All my friends got out, I'm the only one remaining. Fuck them anyways, man, they all stayed complaining.
So this is when the song makes it completely clear that this is from the point of view of a corporal that's going to be a future lifer. Because he's saying that out of all his friends, he's the only one that remains. And they're all a bunch of bitches because all they did was complain. Meanwhile, he loved the bullshit.
The chow hole makes me sick. There's black mold in the bricks. Ain't been home in months, got me feeling homesick.
So in this part, he just starts listing off pretty much all of their complaints. Because in his mind, obviously, the Marine Corps is known for its exquisite cuisine, for its troops, and extremely high standards of living. Such as mold and sandwiches, dry and or raw chicken, black mold and the rooms, cockroaches, and rats. Let me tell you a story. Story time. When I got to my room in the fleet, compared to the one that I was in the schoolhouse, which is absolutely great, my room was dusty as fuck, dirt all over the place, cobwebs. There was roaches in my fridge, a box of pizza that Lord knows how long that shit was there, roaches in my microwave, roaches in my shower, all dead of course, and roaches in my toilet. And I had to clean up all of that. Yep. I'm not even shitting you. And then the whole part with the moldy food is because of a situation that happened with a Marine unit that did a UDP in Japan. That meanwhile, while their officers were eating like pizza and eating good, their troops had to have sack lunches, which is a lunch in a sack, that were old as fuck, with literal mold, as you saw in the picture. Literal mold. And I think maggots too. So yeah, in his mind, they're all being a bunch of bitches for having genuine complaints. And the homesickness parts, everybody goes through it. Everybody goes through that homesickness part, because especially for many of us young guys, it's our first time away from home by ourselves. I was lucky because I had a wife, so I always had some company. But there were guys that I know that spent their entire career in the barracks and they didn't really have the company of anybody, to be honest, because they kind of lived alone or their roommate was a piece of shit.
All I hear is bitchin', it's no wonder that they quit. The troops call me a boot, call up Gunny, throw a fit.
So I believe I explained it in the first lyrical breakdown that I did, but essentially what a boot is the term that is used for brand new Marines that had just gotten to the fleet. They're called them boots because they're brand new, they haven't been worn, they're not salty, they haven't done anything, they just got here. It is used as a derogatory term for anybody that hasn't done shit or thinks they've done shit, but they really haven't. And they think they're really experienced, but they don't know their head from their ass, essentially. And again, this term can cause a lot of problems if used in, depending on the situation. If it's fucking around, then it's all good. But if you're genuinely trying to insult somebody, you better put your hands up. So that second part is because when he says have a fit, call Gunny have a fit, is because I can't kind of blame him, because nowadays it is really hard to handle shit on your own. What I mean by is like you face non-judicial punishments for anything. Like I wish we could go back to the day we could just fuck people up, because my lord, I knew guys in my unit that fucking deserved to get their ass beat. I did too on certain occasions, but we're not gonna get into that. But essentially, if you put your hand on somebody or do anything, they can hit you with hazing or assault and you lose your rank that you just got. So I can't blame him on that. What I can blame him on is throwing a fucking fit and acting like a bitch. I'll blame him on that.
My rifle's got a BFA. Saltier than me, man, there ain't no way.
So what a BFA is, a blank firing adapter or attachment, whatever you want to call it. It essentially prevents you from firing your gun, which can ruin any fucking moto picture ever, because it turns a rifle to a prop, essentially. And then he's saying there's no one saltier than me. Is it because he has a BFA? I don't know what the fuck. Anyways, he's just trying to boast that he has so much salt on him, essentially.
If you don't re-enlist, get out my face. I got my challenge coins on display.
So, like I mentioned in my last lyrical breakdown, he's probably one of those fucktards that the moment you mention, oh man, I don't want to do this stuff, he fucking freaks out. He's like,
oh my god, why don't you want to re-enlist? Why not? It's fucking figures. Why? Why don't you want to re-enlist? This is the best job you could ever have. It's so easy. I love it. This is the best company to work for.
I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like,
oh my god, just get the fuck out of my face, because I don't want to talk to you, because you don't want to re-enlist, because you don't love this.
Now, second part, challenge coins are actually pretty cool, but I would never put them on display on my desk. You get them from special occasions. You can get them from embassies. I actually got some from MCT because they look kind of cool. Marine combat training. I think I might have gotten one from boot camp. I got one from the embassy in Spain. So they are pretty cool looking, and it's kind of one of those things. And the more you stay in, then the more things you do, the more of them that you get, pretty much.
I yell at my Marines, they just won't listen to me. They're just a bunch of shit, bag Lance coolies.
When he says I yell at my Marines, but they won't listen to me, it's clearly because he doesn't command respect. He's probably one of those motherfuckers, and I'm obviously not talking about DD214 memes, I'm talking about the character he's portraying, just in case there's any confusion. He's probably one of those motherfuckers that uses, I am a corporal, I am a sergeant, to try to win an argument, which is the stupidest shit ever. I think Game of Thrones said it best when Joffrey got up and screamed, I am king, And Tywin, his grandfather, says, any king that has to say, I am king, is no true king.
I am the king. I will punish you.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
Same thing with a leader. Anybody that has to pull rank in order to win an argument, you immediately lose in my eyes. Because that means you have nothing of substance to say. And you're just embarrassed that you just got called out, so you try to pull rank to win an argument. Lance Coolies, in that second bar, Lance Coolies is slang for Lance Corporal, which is an E3 in the Marine Corps, which is, I think, like 97% of all the personnel in the Marine Corps, because they're so common. And obviously they're unmotivated because they have a shitty leader.
Their motivation levels are looking kinda puny. Combat conditioning, wear out that booty.
Because nothing motivates this grown-up Marines more than fucking PT. I don't know where the fuck leaders got this way of thinking. It's like,
oh, morale's fucked? You know what we should do? Slay them. That'll bring everybody together.
It doesn't work at all. That does not work at all. Slaying a Marine will not give him motivation. It'll make him even more disgruntled of the fact that they're trying to fucking do this to motivate them. It doesn't work.
In the McMap pit, let's get it going. You're just a tan belt? Must be joking.
So I referenced this in, I think, my first lyrical breakdown, but McMap is a Marine Corps martial arts program. And in this situation, his character is a green belt, because you go from tan to gray to green to brown to black. And he's clowning this dude for being a tan belt in the McMap pit, which is just filled with like some sort of rubber cushion. I think it's like broken up pieces of tire to cushion the blows when you grapple and actually do the techniques. So, story time. I have one of my boys, who I'm not at liberty to disclose his name because he hasn't given me the authorization to, who before he joined the Marines, not only was he a bouncer, not only did he play fucking college football, he also did jiu-jitsu. We were doing a McMap course for him to get his gray belt. He was still a tan. We were grappling. And there was a green belt who boasted, oh, this is going to be super easy. And my boy was like, you better bring your fucking A game, because I know what I'm doing. And proceeded to tap him out in 10 seconds. Completely embarrassed him. A tan belt to a green belt. Like, this motherfucker grappled with our sergeant major and damn near tore his arm off. And he was a black belt. My boy being a tan belt, because for some reason, people think that McMap is going to properly reflect to the civilian world. Look, all McMap does is it teaches you how to get an ass beating. That's all it does. And it has some good lessons, like good techniques here and there. But other than that, if you're not practicing it every day, you're not going to master it. And for some reason, motherfuckers think they get the black belt, haven't done McMap in like 3 years, and think they can still fuck anybody up whenever they walk into a room.
One mind, any weapon is what I breathe. I'm flexing that black belt, MAI steez. Wanna get rolling? Yeah, right, please. I know you were on the wrestling team.
So one mind, any weapon is the slogan of the Marine Corps martial arts program. And then he keeps going into the story. I was like, come on, you want to roll around? You want to get rolling? That means grapple. And he's flexing his belt. Not only that, he also mentioned that his opponent was on the Marine Corps wrestling team, which from what I heard is incredibly hard to get into and super competitive. So he already knows what he's doing grappling versus a kid or a dude who has only done McMap up until that black belt and hasn't practiced it since.
Challenge me and say that I'm filled with fear, so I throw down, get tapped out. Weird.
Homeboy gets called out, he proceeds to grapple, and gets tapped out. Weird, right? Because he probably didn't master the techniques. Meanwhile, his opponent had years and years and years of experience, and he's also on a wrestling team, meaning that he's practicing it every day. So yes, of course, you're going to get super tapped out.
I'm not gonna let it go to my head, just focus on my uniform instead.
So, since he can't do McMap, he's just gonna instead focus on his uniform appearance because he can't seem to do anything else.
Got the Alphas inspection tomorrow, 08. Dental, yeah right, you're not gonna skate.
Like I said in the first lyrical breakdown, inspections can happen at any time, in any uniform, for any reason. So he's super motivated that he has an Alphas inspection at 08, and he doesn't care what prior appointments you have. You're not gonna quote unquote skate out of this formation.
I wonder why they don't appreciate the example I'm trying to demonstrate.
So again, he uses a fucking Naba the Beast picture to illustrate how stupid it is to try to present yourself as the super motivated Marine. Because it's kind of ridiculous and literally impossible.
Watching moto videos to masturbate as I bust yell Semper Fi motivate.
And this is the part that gives me a super hard erection. He watches moto videos, masturbates, and as he finishes, he screams Semper Fi. I imagine how that would look. What a motivated PT session. Now to masturbate and take a shower. Nava, you're such a salt dog. Oh my god. From the halls of Montezuma. Yeah. Fucking gross.
Sleep through PT like it ain't shit. Got that 4-month-long light duty chit.
And here he talks shit about his Marines trying to escape, but yet again he's sleeping through PT because he has a 4-month light duty chit. A light duty chit is like a medical paper that you get from medical, obviously, when you're injured. That means you're on light duty, so you can't do much. Essentially, you're kind of excused from everything because most everything we do like requires any sort of physical activity. So it's 4 months long, so he has 4 months of being a lazy piece of shit.
Meritorious board, don't mind if I do. The only thing I ever talk about is my Mew.
Meritorious boards are the stupidest shit in the world. They're literally fucking dog and pony show, and most of the time they already know who's gonna win before they even do the board. I had another friend who literally went through 3 meritorious boards, and this dude was as top notch as can be, and still didn't win. So they're absolutely ridiculous.
Sift gear don't come out, except to snap pics. Wearing my flak and Kevlar at the bricks. Post it to IG and wait for the chicks. But I get DMs saying I look like a prick.
So what SIF gear is SIF stands for Central Issue Facility, which is all like the gear, the tactical gear that you get when you get assigned to a unit. They consist of normally your main pack, an assault pack, canteens, bladder with the carrier, shovel, sleeping bag, all the stuff you need to be a military member. What he's saying is that he's never going to use it because he's a fucking pogue. Only to snap pics, which is the fucking stupidest shit that you can do. It is so dumb. It is so stupid. Oh my god, the amount of shit pics that I've seen of motherfuckers wearing flak jackets and like the t-shirt underneath with the Kevlar for no reason, and they're just in the barracks and they just look stupid, and they try to use that to pick up chicks, and any chick that's been around the military base for a while will just already dismiss you because they know you're a fucking boot and you're an idiot, and they don't want to fuck with you because you're a retard for wearing that shit, because nobody in their right mind wants to wear that shit outside of a tactical situation.
Starching my cover to make it look tight. Studying drill manuals all night.
So what a cover is the hat that you wear with your camouflage uniform, your camis. And It blatantly says on this is actually mine. The last one that I had, because I had like 3 of them. It says here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It says here on the last bolded sentence, it says, "Do not use chlorine, bleach, or starch." And the first thing you do, and they tell you to do when you get it, is starch the fuck out of it. So it looks like super stiff and super straight. Story time. Actually, mine is filled with autographs. And I don't know if you can see them. They're right here. Autographs, autographs, autographs. Autographs. So, story time. When the WWE came to Camp Lejeune for their something for the troops, support the troops, thing that they do all year, once a year, excuse me. They came to Camp Lejeune, which was the first time on a Marine base, and they came to the main exchange. So I asked them if they could autograph my cover for me, and they did. So I have Kurt Angle. I got Kalisto, which says Mucha Lucha. It has Lacey Evans. I have Apollo Crews, and I have Elias, aka Walk with Elias. Yeah, and they were kind enough to autograph my cover for me, and I proceeded to wear this cover right into my workplace, and no one gave a fuck except one of my buddies who actually saw it and started dying, called me a shitbag, because I was at the ass end of my contract. I was about to get out, and I was not going to spend money on buying a new cover because I did not give a fuck.
Drill instructor duty, I just might hop in my rack, tell Chesty goodnight.
Well, the last 2 bars, he's so motivated, he wants to become a drill instructor. And then he hops into his rack, which is his bed, and he wishes Chesty goodnight. Chesty Puller is the most decorated Marine, and he's like a god amongst men, along with General Mattis. All hail St. Mattis. So when story time, when I was in boot camp, our drill instructors used to have us clap twice, hit the rack, and then say, "Good night, Chesty Puller, wherever you are." Because he was a fucking salt dog, man. And then that's the end of the song. A really good song. No chorus, which is cool. It was all straight verses. I think it was the first time he's done like a trap type beat. It was fucking dope. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard while listening to a song. DD214 memes, you fucking killed it, dude. Again, I thank you for letting me do this. It was so awesome. If you guys haven't followed him on any of the social medias, please do so. I'm sure this song will eventually pop up in Spotify and Apple Music. Yeah, man, keep doing great things, and I've got nothing else for you, so have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.